We are live.
Hi.
Let me get the recording going for the other app because we need to record it so I can cut it up in snippets.
Okay.
Let me send Denyse. Did you get a chance to talk to her? I'm trying to do this all at once at the same time.
Okay.
Denyse knows Heather. Oh, she follows her. Here's Brent. Let me okay, well, we're not gonna quite start yet, but we are live right now on our live stream.
Okay, I'm here.
Do you have her phone number that you can reach her out to? Or
Yeah, I
maybe
do.
can you reach out to her? Because we're live, we're waiting for her.
Okay.
Yeah, I DM her to let her know we're live.
Okay.
It's a double and triple check, make sure everything's going smoothly as we.
Okay, I just sent her a message. Let me do this just in case. Hold on. Contacts.
Okay, while we're waiting for her, do you want to go ahead? Should we just go ahead and start our talk?
She said I'm on, but no one can hear me. I just sent you her phone number. You might have to do some technical chat with her.
No, well, I think you should just text her and tell her she needs to be on her phone, Twitter phone.
Okay.
She's listening on the desktop. I can see her.
Okay. Tonya said.
I'm going to mute you for a second.
Okay.
So while we're waiting for Denyse, I love her name, Denyse Denysesch. So let me go ahead and share I'm gonna pin some tweet up. Yeah, she knows Heather. Let me go ahead and pin her.
She said she's on, but no one can hear me. I texted her to tell her to sign in on your phone.
Yeah,
correct?
Yep. Twitter Spaces can only be used on your cell phone.
I never knew that.
What are you talking about?
I just always do everything on my phone.
Yeah. So make sure when we get our guests, but they need to know that because
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can just do it on your desktop. You never be heard. No one can see you. You can only listen live via desktop.
Okay.
I mean, like they can go to our YouTube channel, and if I sit on YouTube, I can answer questions. But the purpose of this is a podcast. So we record this and then we distribute it out, and it sits on our website, and it sits on all the other websites. So, I mean, for a guest speaker, they would get like 20, 25, probably 50 links out of a 60-minute segment.
Yeah. Okay, I let her know. She seems to know what to do. She knew a lot.
No, she knows a lot because that's her company. She's
Yeah.
she's C3 Centricity. Yeah, she knows some Heather. I just looked at her profile and I realized she knows a lot of people that I know.
Ah, how
Yeah, so
interesting.
she teaches companies. She does what I do, and I think she does a little bit more because she writes. She's an author. She's a speaker, so she's a big connector.
Is there a way for me to send her maybe send her, well, she's got it on her phone, the link.
She needs to go to her her
Hold on.
Twitter profile and click the link where I tagged her. It's like it says Twitter Spaces, and I'll send it to her again.
All right.
Okay, I'll send it to her right now.
You have, and I gave you her number in case you need to text her. I don't know.
Well, I can't really do much because I'm using my main phone.
Oh, gotcha.
I can find my other phone. I just
Gotcha.
I'm on my main phone because I wanted to make sure this is perfect because I've been like I said, I've been working 3 weeks straight. Just been editing and doing spaces.
Well, you and I need to talk about that after.
So that's why I'm like on this ball game. Like, let's get this stuff done.
Yeah.
But it's good. She
said, I'm now on my phone listening, but how do I get you to hear me?
What? Not in the space. I don't see her. She needs to click.
She said, I'm on my phone listening, but how do I get you to hear me?
She needs to get into the space. So she's not even on the app. So she needs to go into the space.
But isn't there a link I can send her?
I did, baby. Listen.
I know, but can I send it to her since you're not sending it to her through her link?
Tell her to go down to her Twitter profile, check her DM.
Which Twitter did you send it to? She's got 9 different handles, she said.
Denyse, the one I tagged. DENYSECH.
Oh, okay. Go to @Denyse.
Babe, it's DN. You see the name of the space is Empower Yourself Monday, episode 19. Chat with DENYSECH. She just followed us this morning.
I know. Hold on. So weird.
Okay, let me do this again. You can just take the link and share it, but let me do this. I'm fast. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, I just text her to her phone. So if she
Okay.
clicks that, it should open up her Twitter
Yep.
app to take her right into here because she's not in the space. So she's
got
listening with a desktop, and it has to be a cell phone, no tablet, none of that, because the tablet doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're just.
Are you on your cell phone?
There she is. I see her.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I see her right here.
Okay, so I don't need to do anything.
How
She's
many
there.
stuff are running on this space right now? I can see everything. So that's why I was like,
there she is. Okay. Hi, Denyse.
So Denyse, if you go to your left-hand corner, it says microphone
Yes, I
icon.
saw it got switched off again. You can hear me now.
Yes.
Oh, golly. For a geek, I'm pretty useless in this new spaces area, aren't I?
That's okay.
Okay, everybody has it. It's and I hope that you will be utilizing Twitter Spaces for your projects too, because it's a great platform. But welcome. How are you, Denyse?
I'm terrific, and I'm so happy to be with you. I'm so excited to learn all about spaces and also share a little bit of my journey, because I've had quite a journey until now in life.
All right.
I love this. So before we start, we usually give the mic to Terry, who leads us in mindfulness and breathing exercise. We get our Monday ready. And so now I think we're ready to go now. So Terry, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Tonya. Welcome, everyone. Wherever you are, sitting, standing, laying down, just totally relax. Close your eyes. Relax your face, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Visualize the stress and tension going down your arms, out through your fingertips. Relax your chest, torso, and hips. Again, visualize the stress and tension going down your legs, out through your toes, and you're completely relaxed. Eyes still closed. Take a deep breath in and hold. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Eyes are still closed. Breathing gently in and out through your nose. Any thoughts that come into your mind, visualize them just blowing away like clouds in the sky while you remain in your relaxed state. Another deep breath in. Exhale out. And I'd like to close with this thought. Friendliness, compassion, and delight cultivate a calm mind. Practice the healing power of a compassionate mind. Open your heart to other people without judgment and radiate the message of delight at having them in your life. Namaste. May the divine in me honor the divine in you. Thank you.
Wow, I needed that actually. I just like every birth, I was like, oh my God, I needed this. Okay, so happy Monday, everybody. Good morning, everyone. And it's Empower Yourself Monday. It is our episode 19. I can't believe it. We're in season 2 of our Empower Yourself Monday podcast. And we're utilizing Twitter Spaces every Monday at 10 a.m. featuring an outstanding communicator that we want to feature. And you know, we usually feature South Florida, but Denyse was highly recommended, and I was like, oh my gosh! And the more I got to look up all her information, turns out we know a lot of people in common. So, again, everybody, I want to welcome our communicator of the week. Her name is Denyse Drummond-Dunn. I want to call you Denyse Dunn, but then I want to like pronounce your name right. And also, I want to give you a little short bio. Denyse Drummond-Dunn is the founder, president, and chief growth catalyst of C3 Centricity. Has worked in over 125 countries worldwide. So she knows a lot about people, their similarities and difference. Her experience helped organizations fast track their adoption of a customer-first strategy. So they witness results of improved growth and profitability in record time. Being a licensed pilot and certified dive master, Denyse also understands the power of differing perspectives to make smart, strategic decisions and the importance of being flexible in the face of challenges. Good morning, Denyse. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for the introduction. I'm feeling great now. I'm finally in, but my golly, did I feel stupid for that first 10 minutes?
Oh, no. It's okay. You're not, people go through this all the time. I think this, no, it's not you. This is, if you've never done it before, but once I've known you, I think you will be like, catching on to this tremendously. So, so can you give us a little bit more information about you? I know you are an author, you're a speaker. I just read like a quick bio, but can you give our listeners a little bit more info about you and what some of the things you do?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking. I spent the first 30 odd years of my life in the corporate world, smashing through many glass ceilings, as they call them, and ignoring my gifts that I was given when I came onto this earth, of a certain sensitivity. And it was only when I suffered more and more important, I would say, nudges by the universe, but they became kicks up the pants to really that I should start using the gifts that I was given and leave the corporate world. So I have a background that's very, I would say, pretty boring. I mean, it was exciting because I traveled to a lot of countries and I got to know people in a lot of places. But I wasn't really using my gifts that I was born with. And it was as a result of all these accidents and emergencies that I had in my life, plus COVID, to be honest, where my speaking work basically dried up for a couple of years, that I realized that I needed to get the word out about the importance of making use of the gifts and talents that we're born with. And so that was a positive outcome for me from COVID. And I started doing one-on-one coaching, and I'm just about now to start group coaching because I'm getting so much demand that it was impossible, even working 24/7, to satisfy all the people that were interested because they were unhappy in their lives and were keen on working with an intuitive coach, because I am an intuitive coach, even if I have certifications as a master life coach and happiness coach, actually, and life purpose coach, to help people to understand why they're unhappy in life, especially work seems to be a big problem these days, and to help them to identify the path they should be on for a happier life and a happier job, really, using their gifts and talents that they were born with.
Yeah, I think that's incredible that you that's direction that you headed into. And you know, I didn't even realize when I was looking at your profile, you follow Heather Lopez. She follows you. She's the founder of Blogging Mamas, and that itself, you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I think that's great. You know, she's from South Florida originally. I just remember we sponsored her actually. One of her first event for Blogging Mamas in Miami was in the it was at the it's near it's at the racetrack. It's really cool looking. It's like the old Miami area. It's really nice. So she was awesome. So now today, Denyse, so you do a lot of group coaching together, or how can you walk us through that a little bit more?
Well, I'm about to start my first group coaching in June. Because, as I said, I do travel a lot, and after 2 years of not traveling, I'm traveling again. So I'm regularly in Florida. It's one of the areas that I have a lot of connections with because I also lecture at Miami University. But I wanted, as I said, to do this group coaching, which is a 4-week program. And people can sign up online at findingyourhappy.com, which is the website that I use for my coaching, my personal coaching practice, whereas the corporate coaching practice is under C3 centricity. And C3 stands for customer, consumer, and client. In other words, the people that buy products and services. So my job is basically helping companies pay more attention to people and people to pay more attention to themselves, because we lose ourselves in our work and society at large. And we need to get back to who we really are and what is our life path that we were intended for and given the gifts to use to walk along this path. So the group coaching is just a 4-week program, although some people continue and sign up for further coaching with me. And it's a fun exercise where it's a live 1 to 2 hour coaching a week. Plus, obviously, I give people exercises to do during the week's calls, between the week's calls, because at the end of the day, I can give tips and tools, but the person needs to do the work. If the people don't do the work, nothing will change, unfortunately. So I now have started interviewing people before they even join my personal coaching, because I've been disappointed with a few people that did not do the work, turned up for the calls, but in between did very little. So they didn't find the the changes that they were looking for and the progress that they could have made. And it's not good for them and it's not good for me. So I do talk to people to make sure that this is the right time for them. And as I said, I've been through it, so I know the time to change is when the universe starts giving you those little nudges, because if you don't start making the changes, the nudges get bigger and bigger and bigger. So if the universe is telling you you're not quite on the path that you were destined for, you will get signals like I did. I mean, I got fired from my high-powered job. I had a serious hiking accident in the mountains. I had emergency surgery. I ended up getting cancer and then almost dying on the operating table through a medical error. So I don't know how much bigger than that the nudges could be from the universe that told me I have to change my life.
Wow, I didn't even realize. Wow, that's so. So it's a 4 weeks program, and people can sign up on, and you work with them, and then after that they can continue on. Do you have another like an intermediate or you have a beginner?
What is interesting about the system that I use, I won't say I developed it. I feel I was given it to help people. It's called PAINT, P-A-I-N-T. And the P stands for problems. We all have problems and challenges, and we identify the priority, the one that we want to work on first. And then what I do is I work with the people to go back and remember the activities that they enjoyed doing as a child, because we naturally use our gifts and talents when we're young, and they normally appear between the ages of, according to research, between the ages of 7 and 13. So I take people back. Some people we do it through meditation, other just by getting them to think about it. And we identify the activities that people enjoyed as a child. And then more importantly, we identify what were the emotions and feelings they had when they were enjoying these activities, because it's not so much the activities. As an example, I used to love sports and especially high jump, and I used to practice in school, practice at home. It wasn't for me to be the best in terms of winning competitions. For me, I was curious to see just how far I could go. And that, in fact, is one of my gifts. I'm naturally curious. I'm always trying to improve myself and curious about how things work and how people are similar and different, and how I can support them in their quest along their journey. So that is the A, and the I is identify. And then we come back to now to see how we can use or find those emotions, those feelings in today's world to answer the problem and challenges we're facing. And then the T is, of course, take action. Because as I mentioned before, if people have gone through the practice but then don't take action, nothing will change. So that is the process that I take people through. And what is fabulous from my perspective is that once I've taught somebody how to do it, they can do it again on their own. So they don't have to work with me for weeks, months, years. Once they've learned the process, they can then apply it to another problem or another challenge they have in their life and just go through the process again, because I give them the tools, the exercises, the ways to go through the process, and then they do it themselves. So they don't need me after a month, but sometimes people do want to come back, maybe for a second time to have additional support, or maybe just to double check a month after or two.
Wow, I'm so excited. I can't wait to learn more about this. And this is great. We should do an event around this. Wow, that's awesome. You know what? I gave the mic to my friend Nick. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Oh my God, I can't
Tonya.
believe the positivity coming from Denyse. and I so relate to everything that she's saying, because you know, life is a journey, and I've certainly been on one myself, and I've sort of like turned a lot of my negatives into positives, and trying to use my own abilities to help other people has been one of them for the last 14 years. And that was all created after losing my dad to cancer. And I hope you're okay now, Denyse. And during 2016, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. So I worked harder and I slugged my guts out, and I've done everything I can to distract myself from going into places that I didn't want to get to. And I during that year, I was actually, my hard work and dedication kind of sort of paid off, not financially, but I got recognised by Richard Branson, who contacted me in a personal message on LinkedIn, and things just escalated from there. And oh my God, you know, and it's just been a journey, you know, and you know how from tragedies you can create something amazing and great. And I think what Denyse has been speaking about is was exactly. I never knew I'd meet someone who is very similar to me, but obviously I do a lot of work with musicians and try and inspire them to stay confident, especially during lockdown. It's very difficult. So I take my hat off to you, Denyse, and big love to you. And thank you so much for allowing me to pop into your live.
Nick, thank you very much. I'd love to connect with you and talk some more. I believe that cancer is one of the most common ways today that the universe has of telling us that we are really far off where we should be. And I know from research, a lot of people that develop cancer have something going on in their life that needs attention. And I know exactly why I got cancer, what was happening in my life, physically, mentally, spiritually. And I always find it fascinating that good almost always come out of bad. When we look back, it's so much easier to understand the journey that we or others have been on, and that we just needed, as I said, to kick up the pants. We were not paying attention. We were not making the necessary changes to our life. And therefore, we were getting these signals. And if we didn't pay attention, they got bigger and bigger. And I would love to hear if you feel that your family, and I'm very sorry that you have gone through cancer in your family, because it's not an easy journey to go through. But I would love to know more, because you said that positivity came out of the negativity. I don't see things as positive and negative as much as I said, signals that we need to make changes in our life, and those are the positive changes we make. And it's just unfortunate that sometimes we're not as sensitive or open to hear the messages, either because we don't want to, or because we're just too busy with some other less important areas in our life. How do you feel about that?
I completely agree with you. But it's difficult, because it's not something I normally talk about, but I mean, I had a pretty difficult upbringing. So like, I was adopted and abandoned as a child. So that was a journey in itself. That's another story. But it's, I don't know, I've just found like my whole life experience came to a point, as I say, almost 13, 14 years ago. And you know, I did something online to help my cousin out, who lives in Brooklyn, New York. She's a singer, and she just shared with me her music during my really depressed, sad time and moment that I was in. And things just progressed from there, you know. And she told me to help other people, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I mean, I think the nice thing is that you just never know who you're going to connect with, and the social media world is a truly beautiful place, and there's some good people on here. But I've worked online for a very long time, and I've discovered that there's I don't know, there's a lot of I think the problem I found on social media is that this like humans seem to be naturally attracted to negative narratives on social media, especially recently over the last couple of years, and it's not something I like to engage in. But there's so many people out there like yourself, Denyse, and other people are probably in here that are doing wonderful things, and that's what I aspire to continue doing myself. I mean, during COVID, when everything was really difficult, I lost seven people that I care about, including one of my best friends, who was only 31 years old. He had a heart attack, and that was like a shock, and it's left a big empty gap in my life. And from like that, and experiencing all the difficulties within the music industry, I've actually been invited to promote quite a big festival in Kent that actually helps men's mental health, and including families as well. So it's amazing how we experience different things in our lives that sets us on a path to help others in a different way. I mean, 4 years ago, well, actually longer than that, I was contacted by a disabled musician in Tampa, Florida, who, without going into too much detail, the industry weren't very good to her, and they ripped her off, and she asked me to help, and we become very, very close friends. She sadly passed during COVID as well. And one of my promises was to help her to become an independent artist again. So I paid for all of her music to get produced, and I managed to get it back to her the day before she passed, and that was very difficult. Yeah, I mean, that woman was an amazing spirit in my life. I mean, she must have been, oh my God, I mean, oh, it's just so difficult. I find it quite difficult to talk about it, but she was very spiritual, and we sort of loved each other in a friendly way, not in a weird way, but we had the utmost respect for each other. And it just goes to show that distance and what culture we're from or what background we're from, it really doesn't matter. If you're a nice person and you connect, it's a truly beautiful thing. And she put me in touch with this amazing movie director, and he asked me if I'd like to promote a movie, and I said, right, okay, sounds good. I says, but my biggest cost is my time. What's the movie about? And he said, it's got over 80 children with disabilities in the film. And I just stopped him there, and I said, yeah, I'm in. I'm happy to help. And then he kind of asked me to become, after about 2 months, he asked me to become like movie media partners for the film. And I never contemplated how that would change my life, and I started collaborating with universities and sending press kits all around the world, because it's an educational film. And then I got asked to promote the SSI Film Festival in Tampa, Florida. And the movie director didn't even know I was doing it, and I was doing all the ticket sales. I was putting disability musicians on stage from the UK over there. And yeah, I mean, it was just so amazing, the whole kind of movement, and I'm still promoting it the best I can now. But once the film got released on Amazon Prime and all the other main ones, it was at the same time that came to an end. I got a video, got sent a video via another social media outlet, from a friend that I helped out previously, like an organizer, and it was of this beautiful little boy with cerebral palsy, that lives up in Lincolnshire, in an area called Spalding, and he was just a beacon of light. So we created this like celebrity football match, and it was all to raise money to buy Roman that's the boy's name, Roman, a hydro-spa therapy pool to help with his disabilities. And we never contemplated that we had to set up like this Just Giving page because we weren't sure, because we created this massive festival called the Roman Festival, and we never knew if the festival was going to take place because of obviously the COVID. But it did go ahead, and the Just Giving and the ticket sale was only just last week. I was contacted by the family that we reached our target, so we've raised £14,000 in the space of less than 2 years, and it's going to change that little boy's life. But I would never, I don't say never, but it was really strange how I became quite friendly with those with disabilities, and then it steered me into the path of the movie, and then obviously having Zoom meetings with a lot of the those with disabilities, as the cast members, and getting to know them as individuals and how beautiful they are. And that kind of steered me in exactly what Denyse was saying. It steered me in the direction to do what's good for us and what we love to do. And that's what I love to do. And but now I'm kind of going in the path of men's mental health because it's something that I've experienced. It's something that a lot of families and people from all walks of life, experience on a daily basis. But I think the problem that we've got at the moment is that these multi-billion pound organisations that are on social media, they're investing so heavily in women empowerment and diversity, which is a good thing. But I think a lot of it is a bit of a ploy, for their marketing campaign to make money in the future from those that they're investing in. And it's worrying for me because the suicide rate amongst men at the moment is really high, and I've lost friends through suicide and stuff like that over the years. And we need to recognise that as well. So I'm quite unorthodox when it comes to what's trending. I'm trying just do my own thing. And
Now, when I was thinking, I'm gonna DM you, but we have to do an event together because I want to do, because you do a lot. You raised, we met on. This is Tonya Scholz, by the way. I don't know if you realize it's me or not, but
hi, Tonya. I didn't know it was you. Sorry, lovely.
I was like, this is Tonya Scholz. We're like, we met on Twitter Spaces, and I know you do some great events to help to raise funds and everything. So I love to feature you. But I wanted, also today, Denyse, everything Nick is saying is pretty much on point what you're saying and with your program, teaching people, because something bad could happen can bring some enlightenment to you in different ways, and great things can happen in so many different ways for people when they think it's so dark that they can't see the light in front of them. But then because of what they went through, they became enlightened. And instead of feeling, anger or hatred or something bad happened to them, they feel empowered. And I think that's the conversation that Denyse is talking about. Am I right, Denyse?
Yes, I thank you, Nick, for sharing so much of your journey with everyone, because it was very good examples of how the universe gets us to be back on our path when things are straying. And exactly as Tonya says, that what we classify as bad is in fact sometimes just pushing us to make changes and empowering us to make those changes, because otherwise human beings are naturally lazy. We will always go for the easy life. And if we have gifts and talents that we should be using and we're not using, I think the universe feels that it's like giving you something and you ignoring it, and that's not very good. So the universe will find ways for people to use their talents, and you gave so many examples of that. And what I mentioned before, that the paint process that I developed was given, enables people to have something that they can call upon a system that they can use, whatever challenges, because we don't go through one change. Nick, you mentioned probably half a dozen times of what you perceived as negativity, and out of that, your path changed, you went in a different direction. As you kept saying, I never believed I could do this, or I never believed I would think about that. And that is exactly it. You wouldn't have thought about it if those things, the negativities that you saw, prompted you to make changes and to go in different directions. And that's what I love about the paint process, is that I'm not supporting people whenever they need help. I give them the tools so they can support themselves, because once they've been through the process, they understand how it works. So every time they are faced with a challenge, I prefer challenge than negativity. You know, they face something that's challenging their well-being, physical, mental, or spiritual in their life. They can go back to the paint process, go through it again, and they will come out with a solution, a direction, and they can take actions and their life will change. And I've seen this happen so many times, and afterwards people say it's like a miracle. It's not. It's just, well, maybe the miracle is inside them, because we have all these solutions inside us. But most of the time we're so busy, we don't go inwards. We don't look inside us to find the solutions, which is why we end up with these nudges, these challenges in life, to make us make those changes and to look for solutions inside. And the paint process enables you to do that in a simple but very powerful way. And that's what I love about it. Even though I was going to say it's my system, as I said, I believe I was given it, and therefore I believe that's where the power comes from. It's something that is being put out in the universe for everybody to use and to share. And that's what gets me excited about it.
See, I love hearing that, and I think that's and the most important thing about the paint system is it gives people. I don't know. I have this thing about hope. Hope is so important. Hope should be given, and when people feel hope, great things can happen.
Absolutely. Hope is, for me, hope is ideas. Hope is a plan. And this gives you a structure to work through. And because it taps into your strengths, that you had your activities as a child, so your natural strengths, it's identifying your gifts and talents that people generally forget about as we try to fit into society. And secondly, it encourages us to relive those positive feelings and to identify the emotions that then we want to feel again. And that, by going through the process, we find ways to relive those feelings and emotions that we perceived as positive when we were younger. And that, as you said, it's hope, but for me it's more than that, because hope, you don't know if you will get a reaction, but going through the process you will get results, and the results depend upon the actions you take. But yes, the hope comes from going through the process, I think.
I love that. And so, Denyse, I didn't really get a chance to ask you a little bit further for yourself. I mean, like, you do a lot. I thought I did a lot, but you do a lot. Was this something that you always wanted to do, being a business coach, a life coach? I mean, like, I wouldn't call you. Would you consider yourself a life coach? I think you're more than that. Would you?
I call myself an intuitive coach. Your intuitive coach, because, as I said, I did do the certification because some people asked me about it, but I've been an intuitive since I was about 3 years old. I remember leaving my body and wondering, I thought at that age that I was dying, because every time I closed my eyes to go to sleep, I would just leave my body. And I thought, oh my golly, I'm dying. So I would move a leg or an arm to bring me back into my body. I learned that later on. I had this natural sensitivity connecting with people. But as I said, I was caught up in the corporate world and traveling the world and earning money and getting praise and promotions, et cetera, et cetera. And I was not using my talents as I should have been. And a lot happened, I would say, from about 2010. That was when I ended up getting fired from my job, and everything just happened after that. But I knew even before that I should be using it, but I didn't really know how. I'd lost my partner in a plane crash that I physically lived through. And as a result of that, my sensitivity started to really expand. And yet I still didn't do anything with it. So the universe had to end up firing me from my corporate job so I could concentrate 100% on what I should be doing, which is using my sensitivity for the good of others.
I so agree with you. I'm so on the same page. I don't know what else to say. I think the thing is, it's not about what we do in business or anything like that. It's how we make people feel. And I think what Denyse is saying is that what I've identified about Denyse is that she's a lovely human being, and that's rare. And it's people like her that do things like this for other people is truly beautiful. And yeah, I take my hat off to you, Denyse.
Thank you, Nick. I think you're doing pretty well yourself. It took me a little longer than you because, as I said, I was caught up, as a lot of people do. The talents appear when we're a child, but soon after that, we end up leaving school or going to college, and we get caught up in this societal demands and everything that is outside a norm that has been fixed, certainly when I was growing up, was frowned upon. And so we conformed. And it is a brave person that decides to, I would say, go their own path. I think when you're younger, it's much more difficult than when you're older. And you get to a point where, as I said, either the universe is giving you a nudge, or you find the courage in yourself to live the life that you were born to lead. And I admire people who find their path in life earlier rather than later. I think most of the women here today, and I love your Empower Yourself Monday, because I feel that you empower and have been empowered very early in your lives. And I admire all of you for the work you do. Then I'm still learning about you, and it's thanks to Shelley Plum that we connected. And I just find that the more people that you connect with, it's strange how the more people you find that are like-minded people. I think they say the master arrives when the student is ready, and my life has been filled in this last 5 or 10 years with so many masters that I'm learning from. I'm so rich in learning now, and I continue to be. I'm just so passionate about understanding how to use the gifts that I've got and to help other people to discover and then to use the gifts that they have.
It's so true about that. I think I love it. I love everything you're saying. And Nick, I'm so. I think I heard some of. I think we were in their spaces from last year. We sat in together. I'm part of it, but I didn't know about all the stuff that you went through. Wow, I was just like, we need to do a space for that too, Nick, because I have to know more. But Kiki's here in their space too. I want to say hi to Kiki. Kiki's going to be one of our Empower Yourself Monday. She's a school teacher. She teaches, but she does a lot of digital education also. I love, and she does, and we, I think she's doing, I think there's it's mental health awareness month. So there's a bunch of different spaces that are coming up that I try to be part of or help or, listen into. So Kiki's always there for everyone. She shows up. So I just want to say hi to Kiki. But Denyse, so what's next now? So will you be coming to South Florida more often, or will you be like can Women in Communication host an in-person event for you to speak at? Like maybe we can do it at an art gallery or something just to promote the arts, or we do it at church. But I mean, either one.
That would be fabulous. I used to be here every couple of months, and as a result of COVID, of course, I haven't been out in. I think I came last November. That was already quite a struggle. It seems to be getting better, so I'm hoping to be over here I would say every 2 months, because now, of course, I do a lot of speaking in other countries around the world. But I will be coming regularly to Florida, so I would be happy. I mean, whilst I'm here, I'm speaking at Rotary clubs, and I'm doing interviews up in Shelley's studio in West Palm Beach, and speaking to other groups as well. So I do try to speak to a maximum of number of people from different areas so that the word gets out, because I think that it's time that everybody painted their life colorful. As I say, it's painting your life colorful. And that's what I want everybody to do once they learn the process, because once they've learned, they will never forget, and they will share it, as I know that my other students have done before me.
Yeah, we're actually planning a Fem Fest. It's a hybrid. We're just waiting for the license to come through. It's going to be in Boynton Beach, but it's going to be feature all different women owners, businesses, and we're going to do a virtual one also. So actually, the only reason I listening to you talk, and I'm like going, okay, even if you're not here, we can do something with you virtually too. So because Women Communication South Florida, I've been the president on and off since 2008, and we do hybrid since. I think we live stream into Facebook in 2009 when we did a lecture, a talk with this incredible woman. She picks out your color based on different, your tone, what kind of business you want to look. So we did a whole event in Wynwood at that time, was brand new. No one even knew. Everybody was scared to go there at first. Wynwood, Miami was like, this is where all the art district is. And now it's like the hottest place to go. But we were one of the first organization there. And we hosted an event in an art gallery that was so incredible. And we live streamed it. So either way, we can have you be part of this. I'm saying February, but I'm looking at more like August or September. We have to be careful down here. Doing hybrid is a lot of fun. I love hybrid. Virtual is no problem for us, but to do it in person, we just have to be careful. We're in hurricane season. That's the only thing we have to worry about. Right, Terry?
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay, Tonya. I've been through a few hurricanes here, so I know that it blows by eventually. It's just frustrating if it happens to be the day that you've got your event.
Well, we want to do the FemFest outside with a big stadium, with a big stage and everything. So it's going to be online and offline, because in the inside part of it would be more toward the online, so people can see all the different speakers and stuff on the screen. But the outside part, we want to be able to have it like a Midsummer Night's Dream type of deal, but mostly all women. So that's why it's called FemFest. So, but I'll talk with you some more on that. So, on our closing thoughts, what is one thing that you give us a few things that you want us to think about in your closing thoughts? Can you tell us 3 things that we should, when we walk away from here? Please, I want to know more about your paint project, but tell us more.
Denyse, are you there?
He's getting red.
Sorry, I keep going red, blue. Sorry about that. I think for me, the first thing is people that would like to try the paint process. I do regular webinars where I run people through quickly it. I also have the group program starting in June. If you go on to findingyourhappy.com, and it's finding-your-happy.com, you can have a look through the website and also check the events that will give you the next dates for the master classes that I teach, and I go through the process very quickly so people know about it. The group program will start mid-June, and it's $250 for the full month. And that includes the live 1 to 2 hour calls, plus workbooks, tests and lists and everything else that you need to go through the paint process. And as I said, once you've gone through it once, you can continue to do it on your own. If people want to go one-to-one, I do have other programs. Again, Finding Your Happy will give all that information. But I just want everybody that listens to this talk to take away the message that if bad things are happening, or what they see are bad or challenging things happening in their life, to think why that's happening and what they're learning from it, and to understand that it's the universe saying they're not on their life path. And then I would ask them to think about what are the gifts and talents that they were born with that they're not using, and how could they make more use of them in their lives today. And already by doing that, I think people, you mentioned, Tonya, that they would have hope, but they would be much happier because they would already be thinking of the good things that they have in life, not just thinking always about challenges. Sometimes we let them get us down. And I think that if we start thinking about, well, we all have gifts and talents, they're all unique combinations. Everybody is needed on this earth because everybody that comes here has come for a purpose with the gifts and talents, the tools that they have to live the life that they were destined to lead. So if we're challenged, it means we're probably not making use of those gifts and talents, or not in the right way. So if we think about that, we immediately come out of ourselves and we free up the possibility for everything that's inside us to really blossom and flow and generate and grow. And that is a way of getting out of the challenge of everyday life that we face.
Beautiful, Denyse.
Beautiful, Denyse. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's wonderful. And Nick, any closing thoughts on your? I can't wait to do our space. I'm gonna DM you in my other profile. We're gonna do something together.
I absolutely agree with what Denyse says. But she obviously says it a hell of a lot better than what I can. You know, I think what she says. You know, when people say things and they kind of they relate to what you're thinking. You know, she puts it very, very well. That's you couldn't put it. And I think that's what life's about. You know, life isn't all about what we can get. It's about what we can offer and what we can provide. And I think that if and exactly what Denyse said, you know, everybody's got beautiful abilities, and the only problem with recognizing them beautiful abilities is other people's perceptions of what they see, you know, and what they believe. So, you know, life is an amazing journey, and I think that, you know, it's not all about what we can do. It's about how we make people feel, and how people can understand that we've all got something special. I mean, I discovered I've got the ability to help other people in my own way. But what I don't have is the ability to help myself. The only way I can help myself is by helping other people, and that seems to help me in the way in how it makes me feel inside. You know, when I walk away from a task or a challenge or a job that I've been given, and there's a special story behind it. You know, you put a lot of love and passion and hard work, dedication, and commitment, and everything into it. And our journeys are amazing. Sometimes the journeys are better than our destinations, and we just don't want it to be over. So we have to find new journeys and create new memories, not just for ourselves, but create memories for other people and have an impact on others that people won't forget. Or, as Denyse said earlier, you know, giving people the tools to be able to get on and be independent. And but the thing is, what I found about what I do is that you know, over the years, is that people do forget what you do for them, and we have to accept that. You know, I mean, I've had conversations with, oh my goodness, some amazing characters. But the people that I tend to be more attracted to are the people that are humble, the people that are down to earth and just generally nice people. You know, it's I think what Denyse said just kind of highlights how the world could be a better place if we all followed the paths that she believes in. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, it's all about humanity and being human. You know, and embracing love and kind of kicking away the hate, you know, and just no matter what life and challenges get chucked at us, it's what we do with it. It's how we deal with it and how we move forward. And, you know, if you've got a heavy glass of water in your arm and well, it's not very heavy, but if you hold it out long enough and keep hold of it, it can get really heavy. You know what I mean? So you've got to learn to either drink it up or let it go. And then it's not as painful.
Thank you for that. Yeah, you're right about that, though. It's so true about that. And then I understand how you feel too. I'm the same way sometimes. Certain things I like, you know, empowering others seems to be more important some days for me than empowering myself some days. But I think, you know, as long as we realize that and have balance is the key. And Terry, any final thoughts before we close this space out? And we'll be back next Monday at 10 a.m. for the next episode of episode 20 of Empower Yourself Monday.
I look forward to it. This one was great. Denyse and Nick, the both of you, inspired me. I can tell you that. And Denyse, thank you so much. Denyse, do you live in Switzerland?
Yes, that's correct.
Nice. Very nice.
It's a nice place to leave from. It's a very quiet, in the heart of Europe. But
beautiful.
As I said, I've spent my life traveling, so I like living in the world.
Nice.
Even if I'm based in Switzerland.
Of course. I just was wondering about that. And I'm so glad you were able to come here and be with us today.
Yes, so am I. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Nick, thank you for complimenting very much everything that I was saying. So I think it was a great team.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. And Denyse, I hope you will be using Twitter Spaces. And if you need help, need a co-host, you need help, just let me know. And Brent, who is down here in the space, also, he does a lot of co-hosting also. So there's a whole group of us. And Nick, I'm definitely DMing you. We have to plan something. But everyone have a great day. And we will be back next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, episode 20. And again, I want to say thank you to Denyse for being here today. And Denyse, before I let you go, how do people get a hold of you?
Through my websites, which findingyourhappy.com or c3centricity.com. Those are my two websites. Or I have such an unusual name, 3D, that and Denyse spelt with a Y, that I'm sure if you Google me, I'll be top of the list for one of my websites.
You are.
Very good.
I Googled you, by the way. It's a lot of you. You can't miss you. And Nick, thank you so much. And I appreciate everyone for being here. And we will be back next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Empower Yourself Monday. Episode
Love
20.
you all.
Thank you, everyone. And you can listen to the replay. You can go, our link is on our bio. I'll share the replay on Twitter Spaces, but it's actually being streamed. And we wrote a blog about it. It's on our AWC South Florida spelled out.org, or you can find our link on our profile. And Nick, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Wishing you all a blessed and wonderful day. Thank you.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.